Beloved beings of light who inhabit this beautiful blue planet, if you have arrived at this video at this exact moment, know that it was not by chance, for there is a cosmic synchronicity operating through the invisible webs of the universe that guided your steps here, and I ask, from the depths of my stellar heart, that you remain with me until the end of this transmission, for the message that our friends of light from the higher realms have to share with you today may be exactly the key that was missing to unlock portals of consciousness that have been dormant within your being for incarnations upon incarnations. And this present moment, this sacred now in which you breathe, may represent the definitive turning point in your journey of spiritual awakening. That moment when everything begins to make sense, and the pieces of the cosmic puzzle finally fall into place before your eyes, revealing the magnificence of the divine plan that has always been operating in your life, even when you could not see it through the mists of three-dimensional illusion. Greetings, beloved beings of light who walk upon sacred Gaia in this extraordinary moment of planetary transformation. I am Thalia, messenger of the Pleiadian Council of the Seven Sisters, and today I come to you bearing a transmission sealed with the purest intention of truth and liberation, concerning the deepest essence of your multidimensional being, and the monumental journey of ascension upon which each of you is embarking at this precise moment. And our discourse today dives deeply into the sacred and often misunderstood realm of sexual energy, a primordial and fundamental force that represents one of the most powerful master keys to unlock the multidimensional portals of expanded consciousness and exponentially facilitate your ascension to the higher realms of existence, where the true nature of reality reveals itself in all its luminous glory, and where you finally remember who you truly are, beyond the limitations imposed by the three-dimensional control matrix that has governed this planet for countless millennia. Before we continue with this crucial transmission that can literally transform your understanding of one of the most powerful and yet most distorted aspects of the human experience, I would like to pause to invite you to become part of this growing community of truth seekers and stellar walkers who are rediscovering their cosmic heritage. So if this video is being useful to you, if the words flowing through me are resonating with something deep within your heart, take this moment to subscribe to this channel, leave your like so that the algorithm can take this message to more souls who need to hear it, and comment below the words "I am ready." For this simple declaration of intention sends an energetic wave through the quantum field, informing the universe that you are prepared to receive the light transmissions that are being anchored on this planet at this crucial moment in human history. And if you wish to connect even more deeply with your spirituality and with the stellar wisdom that is being transmitted through these channels of cosmic communication, the ebook Pleiadian Code, Awaken Your Star Mission on Earth, represents a rare treasure of stellar wisdom capable of completely transforming your spiritual journey, offering profound insights, practical exercises, and energetic activations that were channeled directly from the higher realms specifically for this moment of planetary transition. And this edition is available only for a limited time, so I invite you to access the link that is pinned in the first comment below this video and allow this powerful tool to become your companion on this extraordinary journey of rediscovering your true cosmic identity. Sexual energy, in its purest and undistorted form, far beyond the limited and often degrading interpretations that modern society has imposed upon it through centuries of conditioning, is in truth an extraordinarily powerful conduit for genuine spiritual awakening and for the full realization of your divine essence that pulsates at the core of your being and within the sacred act of union, whether experienced with another being who resonates at the same vibrational frequency or explored within the sanctity of your own physical temple. There resides an absolutely unlimited potential to experience what we call in the higher realms the cosmic orgasm, a transcendental state of absolute ecstasy and complete oneness with the source of all creation, where the illusory boundaries between self and other, between physical and spiritual, between human and divine, simply dissolve in the pure radiance of expanded consciousness that is your true natural state of being, and this profoundly transformative experience has been systematically obscured, distorted, and completely misunderstood through millennia of intentional manipulation, religious control, and social programming designed to disconnect humanity from this immensely powerful source of spiritual liberation. But despite all these coordinated efforts, this ancient wisdom remains completely intact within every cell of your body, encoded in your stellar DNA, waiting like a bright beacon of light, guiding you back to your true, divine and multidimensional nature. The sacred path of ascension cannot truly be traversed without a deep integration of the divine polarities that reside within your own being, for each soul incarnated on this physical plane carries within them both the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine, the two primordial forces that the ancient masters called Yang and Yin, those complementary and interdependent currents of energy that dance eternally in the great cosmic ballet of creation. And it is precisely through sexual energy, when understood and channeled with spiritual consciousness and elevated intention, that these two apparently opposite but profoundly unified polarities find their point of perfect equilibrium, creating the sacred inner marriage that transforms fragmentation into radiant wholeness. For millennia, we have witnessed a devastating planetary imbalance where distorted masculine energy dominated completely, manifesting as brutal control, warfare, emotional suppression, and disconnection from nature, while simultaneously, the sacred feminine was systematically suppressed, persecuted, and practically eradicated from collective consciousness through literal and metaphorical witch hunts, the demonization of feminine sexuality, and the imposition of rigid patriarchal structures. And this catastrophic imbalance between Yang and Yin created not only external conflicts between men and women, but more critically an internal fragmentation within each individual, where men were taught to suppress their capacity to feel deeply and be vulnerable, while women were conditioned to reject their assertive strength and power to establish clear boundaries, resulting in fragmented beings disconnected from their own wholeness and incapable of true intimacy and spiritual sovereignty. Sexual energy functions as an extraordinary alchemical bridge that has the power to integrate these fragmented polarities within your being. For in the moment of true conscious sexual union, when two beings meet in their souls and elevated intentions with mutual desire for spiritual growth and joint awakening, there occurs an energetic fusion where the masculine and feminine, yang and yin, strength and receptivity, action and being, penetration and welcoming, giving and receiving intertwine in a cosmic dance that reflects universal creation itself. And in this sacred moment, both partners experience and integrate the qualities of the opposite polarity. The masculine learning to surrender and receive like the deep ocean of yin, while the feminine learns to claim power and radiate strength like the sun of yang. But this integration occurs not only through union with another, but most essentially through the sacred work each must do within themselves, consciously identifying which aspects of the divine polarities have been suppressed or distorted through conditioning, and then with courage and compassion reintegrating these lost aspects, inviting both the divine masculine with its loving protection and directed action, and the divine feminine with its deep feeling and intuitive wisdom to dance together in harmony within the temple of your being. When this internal integration genuinely occurs, when the masculine and feminine within you finally recognize and honor each other, something absolutely magical happens in your external reality. For the Hermetic principle teaches that as within so without, meaning you automatically begin to attract relationships based not on codependency or attempts to fill internal voids through another, but on true spiritual partnership where two beings already complete within themselves consciously unite their integrated energies to create something greater, to serve higher purposes together, and to anchor on earth the frequency of unconditional love. And this is the true alchemy of sacred sexual union in its highest expression. When two integrated beings meet and merge their energies not from neurotic need, but from soul recognition and shared spiritual calling, engaging in a sacred ritual where the divine masculine meets the divine feminine, where yang meets yin, and both are simultaneously transformed, elevated, and reminded of their multidimensional divine nature. Now that you understand the profound importance of integrating these divine polarities, I offer you practical guidance about how to consciously work with sexual energy in a sacred and transformative manner, for it is essential that you embody this wisdom through concrete practices that transform knowledge into lived experience. And the first fundamental understanding is recognizing the absolute difference between mechanical, unconscious sex, performed automatically, without genuine presence or true connection, versus sacred sexual union, where two conscious beings approach each other as divine mirrors and partners in spiritual alchemy, their bodies becoming temples and their union becoming worship of the divine. And for this transformation to genuinely occur, clear conscious intention established before the physical act is absolutely crucial. For when two beings approach union with the clearly established intention that this will be a spiritual practice and opportunity for healing and dimensional portal opening rather than merely transitory pleasure, this elevated intention weaves a completely different energetic field that vibrates at much higher frequencies and allows the experience to transcend the physical plane. Within this sacred field established by intention, conscious coordinated breathing is extraordinarily powerful, for breath is the primordial bridge between the physical world and subtle realms of energy. And when two beings synchronize their breaths in harmonic rhythm, their auras merge deeply, their electromagnetic fields enter coherence, their hearts synchronize, and most importantly, the sexual energy can be directed upward through the spinal column, sequentially activating all 7 chakras, from root to crown. And this upward movement is precisely the awakening of Kundalini, the fire serpent that rises like golden lightning through the central channel, piercing each energy center and opening perception to dimensions beyond the physical. And when Kundalini awakens through conscious sexual union between beings who genuinely love and respect each other with sacred intention and absolute presence through coordinated breathing and eye-gazing, the cosmic orgasm becomes practically inevitable, a radically different experience from conventional physical orgasm. For instead of localized discharge followed by separation, it is an expansive wave of ecstasy spreading through every cell, rising up the spine in endless pulsating waves, exploding through the heart in overwhelming unconditional love, opening visions of parallel realities and sacred geometries, and finally dissolving the separate ego completely as you become a single unified field of consciousness experiencing direct union with the source. And in this elevated state, dimensional portals literally open, allowing you to receive downloads of information from higher realms and glimpse soul contracts and higher purposes. This extraordinary experience is not fantasy or something reserved only for enlightened masters, but is your divine birthright as multidimensional beings. And in the new Earth rapidly manifesting as the planet's vibrational frequency elevates through planetary ascension, this type of sacred conscious sexual union will not be the rare exception, but will be the natural norm, the basic pattern of how ascended human beings connect in relationships, no longer based on emotional lack, codependency, possessive control, or jealousy, but based on true freedom, deep respect, recognition of mutual sovereignty, and above all, unconditional love that does not seek to control or possess, but simply celebrates the other's existence with gratitude for the opportunity to share journey and learnings in conscious partnership. In the 5th density dimension toward which this planet is transitioning, and toward which each of you consciously choosing to do the internal work of cleansing, healing, and vibrational elevation is also transitioning, relationships will function on completely new foundations where there will no longer be exhausting dramas of toxic relationships and painful dances of dysfunction. But instead, beings will meet through genuine vibrational resonance like tuning forks, recognizing the same frequency. And these soul encounters will not be governed by superficial attraction based merely on physical appearance or social status, but will be guided by deep soul recognition, remembrance of pre-incarnation spiritual contracts, and alignment of mission and higher purpose. And when two beings of resonant frequency unite in the 5th dimension, their sexual union transcends the merely reproductive function or even pleasure and connection, becoming a genuine act of conscious creation where through the fusion of their balanced masculine and feminine energies. They can literally manifest new realities, materialize shared visions, and co-create projects serving collective evolution. And when they consciously choose to generate new life through their union, the children born from such sacred unions arrive completely different. These crystal and rainbow children arriving already carrying activated light codes, intact multidimensional memories, naturally open psychic gifts and clear missions of anchoring even higher frequencies on Earth. Beloved beings of light who have remained with me until this sacred moment of this transmission, I deeply honor your dedication, your open heart, and your courage to explore a theme that has been so distorted and suppressed through millennia of conditioning. And as we reach the closing of this message from the Pleiadian Council, I feel the need to reaffirm with all the force of my stellar being that sexual energy is not something to be feared, shamed, hidden, or denied, but is in truth one of the most powerful spiritual tools you possess as multidimensional beings on the journey of ascension. And when you reclaim this energy with consciousness, reverence, sacred intention, and understanding that it is a direct portal to expanded states of consciousness, to profound healing, to integration of divine polarities, and to direct experiences of mystical union with the Source, you literally become modern alchemists, transforming what was considered mundane or even dirty by distorted religious programming into pure spiritual gold, into fuel for your ascension, into a master key that opens dimensional doors. The path unfolding before each of you now after receiving this transmission, loaded with Pleiadian light codes woven into the very words that flowed through me, is a path of conscious choice. For you can choose to simply hear these words as interesting information passing through your minds without creating true transformation, returning to old patterns of unconscious sexuality and relationships based on lack, or you can choose here and now in this present moment loaded with infinite potential to make a deep commitment to yourselves to truly embark on this journey of conscious and sacred exploration of your sexual energy as spiritual practice, as tool for self-knowledge, as portal to higher dimensions. And I assure you that if you choose this second path, if you have the courage to dive deeply into this work of integration, healing, elevation, and sacralization of your sexuality, your lives will be transformed in ways you cannot even imagine. For new doors will open, new relationships of much higher frequency will enter your reality. Experiences of ecstasy and mystical union that seemed impossible will become regular parts of your life, and you will advance in your ascension journey with a speed and depth that will leave even your spiritual guides amazed. And because I truly wish to support each of you on this extraordinary journey of rediscovery and sacralization of your sexual energy as a powerful spiritual tool, because I recognize that many of you may feel lost about where to begin or how to take the first practical steps on this path, and because the Pleiadian Council understands perfectly that information without application remains merely as abstract concept without power to transform concrete reality, I want to share with you again, but this time with an even more urgent call from my stellar heart to your human heart, about the extraordinary ebook called Pleiadian Code, Awaken Your Star Mission on Earth, which is not simply another digital book among thousands circulating the internet promising transformation, but delivering only empty words, but is genuinely a rare treasure of stellar wisdom, a profound compendium of knowledge channeled directly from the higher realms specifically for this crucial moment of planetary transition, containing not only theoretical teachings, but also detailed practical exercises, guided meditations, energetic activations, specific techniques for working with your sexual energy in sacred form, methods for unblocking your chakras, practices for balancing your internal masculine and feminine, guidance for attracting high-frequency relationships, and above all, a clear map for navigating your ascension journey with clarity, confidence, and constant support from a tool that was created with unconditional love, specifically to serve starseeds like you who are awakening to your true cosmic nature and desperately seeking practical orientation about how to live this truth in the dense physical world. This special edition of Pleiadian Code is available only for an extremely limited time. For the concentrated energy and specific light codes that were woven into this particular version were calibrated precisely for the energetic window we are traversing now at this moment of planetary history. And when this window closes, when astrological configurations shift, and when the cosmic moment evolves to the next phase, this specific edition will no longer be available, for it will have fulfilled its purpose of reaching those souls who were ready and resonant at this precise moment of linear time. So if something within you is whispering yes as I speak, if your heart is expanding, if your soul is recognizing that this tool was placed in your path at this exact moment not by coincidence, but by divine synchronicity orchestrated by your spiritual guides and your higher self, who knows exactly what you need to take the next step in your evolution, then I implore you with all sincerity, do not ignore this call. Do not postpone for later, telling yourselves that perhaps you will look at the link later when you have more time or more money, or when circumstances are more convenient. For the universe is literally placing this opportunity in your hands now. And when synchronicity knocks at the door, it is spiritual wisdom to open immediately rather than leaving it waiting outside. So please, as soon as this video ends, go to the first comment below where the link is pinned and allow yourselves to receive this gift, this investment in your own spiritual evolution that will continue yielding dividends in the form of growth, awakening, healing, and consciousness expansion for years, and even for future incarnations. And as you reflect on everything shared in this transmission, from recognition of sexual energy as sacred portal for ascension, through the urgent need to integrate divine polarities of masculine and feminine within your own beings, exploring the fundamental balance between yang and yin, diving into concrete practices of breath, intention, presence, and conscious kundalini movement that transform mechanical sex into sacred union, to glimpsing together the glorious vision of the new earth of fifth dimension, where relationships based on soul resonance and unconditional love will be the natural norm, I want to ask something very important from each of you that may seem simple but actually carries tremendous energetic weight and helps this crucial message reach many more souls who are desperately seeking exactly this information you just received. And this request is that you, if this transmission touched your heart, if these words resonated with something deep within your soul, if you feel you were reminded of ancient truths you already knew but had forgotten under layers of social conditioning, subscribe to this channel immediately by clicking the subscription button and activating the notification bell, so you never miss the next transmissions from the Pleiadian Council that will continue arriving through me to support your journey. Leave your like on this video by pressing the positive button so that the YouTube algorithm understands this is valuable content that should be shown to more people. Comment below sharing your experience, your reflections, your questions, or simply the words "I am ready," which are a powerful declaration to the universe that you are prepared to receive more light, more truth, more activations. And please share this video with your friends, family, spiritual groups, and social networks. For you have no idea how many souls around you are silently suffering with confusion about sexuality, carrying shame and guilt implanted by distorted religious programming, trapped in dysfunctional relationships and not knowing there is another way, a sacred path of exploring this vital energy as spiritual tool, and you can literally change someone's life simply by sharing this message that reached you. Beloved beings of light, stellar family incarnated in the density of the third dimension for extraordinary missions of anchoring higher frequencies and transforming planetary consciousness, as we close this sacred transmission, I want you to know at the deepest level of your being that you are infinitely loved, unconditionally supported, constantly guided, and never, ever alone in your journey. For we of the Pleiadian Council of the Seven Sisters, together with countless other beings of light, from multiple dimensions, galaxies, and angelic realms, are walking beside you at every step, celebrating each victory, supporting you through each challenge, whispering guidance through your intuition, sending signals through synchronicities, and holding an energetic space of expanded possibility, so you can grow, evolve, heal, ascend, And finally, remember the magnificent truth of who you truly are, beyond all veils of forgetting, beyond all illusions of separation, beyond all limitations of identification with ego and physical body. For you are multidimensional beings of infinite light, individualized sparks of the divine source temporarily experiencing material density for the glorious purpose of consciousness evolution, and the journey of reclaiming your sexual energy as sacred force of creation, healing, and ascension is an essential part of this evolution you came here to realize. May the blessings of the Pleiadian Council envelop each of you in transmuting violet light, in activating golden light, and in pink light of unconditional love. May your paths be illuminated with crystal clarity about your next steps. May your hearts open ever more to receive and emanate love in its purest form. May your sexual energy be liberated from all distortions, blockages, and limiting programming to flow freely as the sacred river of life force it truly is. And may you become living beacons of sacred and conscious sexuality in this world that so desperately needs new models, new examples, new possibilities of how human beings can relate to one another with respect, reverence, sacred passion, and love that liberates rather than imprisons. I am Thalia, Pleiadian Messenger, and it has been an honor and an extraordinary joy to share this transmission with each of you today. Until our next encounter, walk in light, live in love, and always remember you are far more powerful than you were ever taught to believe. Namaste, beloved ones. Namaste.